Now that the Batman Part 2 is confirmed, I wanted to kind of understand why the Batman was so captivating. I mean, this was not a movie that was particularly well received before its release. The casting choices had very mixed reactions, and I would say that even I was doubtful. However, once the movie hit theaters, it absolutely succeeded to bring Batman to life. It became such a massive hit with fans and, dare I say, brought more people into exploring DC. But why is it that a movie that reimagines Batman in such a way worked better than any other Batman iterations? To be fair, Christopher Nolan did a fantastic job with bringing Batman to life, but there was something missing in his movies. And that element is what made Matt Reeves' version stick out. And that element is atmosphere. As much as I like Christopher Nolan's vision for the character, there was one issue with his movies. One glaring issue that really diminishes Batman's value in the story, and that is Gotham. In Christopher Nolan's version, Gotham is like any corrupt city. There is corruption and suffering, but the city looks and feels no different from any other metropolitan city. Maybe Christopher Nolan meant to give this world a realistic feeling, as a mirror to our own world. This approach isn't too bad, but it doesn't capture the essence of the Batman comics. I myself am no comic book nerd, but from the number of comic books of Batman that I have read, one thing is clear: Gotham is special. Gotham is like every city, but much more extreme, as though whatever acts of evil you can think of is present here. So, in a sense, it is like hell waiting for a judgment day. It is not just a city with evil, but that the whole foundation is drenched in blood. Gotham City is supposed to be haunting even with the absence of any visible crime. There's always a feeling of threat in Gotham, and this movie gets it right. The city is unstable in every way. You look at the streets and it's filled with thieves and gang members. You look at pristine buildings, they are filled with pretty much the same thing actually. It's this level of oppression and tyranny that adds to the eerie atmosphere of Batman. Now, there's a whole list of reasons why we can feel this in this movie, but here the visuals do the heavy lifting. In Matt Reeves' version of Gotham, it is a perpetually gloomy city. Every shot of the city is filled with garbage and dirt. The city is like a zombie, always rotten but never dying. The shots are often obstructed by rain, which amplifies the sadness and suffering. It also limits our vision and makes the city look like all evils in it are meshed together within the city itself. Almost like an abstract painting where the colors merge and bend, ignoring all ideas of form and shape. The shadows overpowering any light, here acting as a symbolism of oppression that corrupts whatever it touches. These shadows engulf the city, which gives us a clue as to how degraded the city and its people truly are. To add to that, Gotham is filled with neon lights, and we feel this lack and yearning for some sun. Gotham's nights are too dark to be lit by these neon lights, and its days are overlooked by cloudy skies. The neon lights may be a representation of the many pleasures in Gotham coming from artificial and damaging sources. As a viewer, we feel like this muted surrounding is almost claustrophobic. Similarly, the Iceberg Lounge, which is a nightclub filled with smoke, liquor, and a whole lot of gangsters, is also washed in these neon lights. It almost feels like the city is a black hole, trying to swallow up everyone and everything in it by the temporary pleasures within it. Now, Gotham isn't just important to set the mood, it is an active character in some way. It can be seen as being similar to the One Ring in The Lord of the Rings, or the Iron Throne in Game of Thrones. This item, or in this case, the city, has a life of its own and it affects everyone. And the first person it affects is Batman. In the earlier part of the movie, we can see that Bruce Wayne walking within a crowd giving his monologue. Within this, he alludes to the fact that he is watching out for the evil that arises within the city. Here, Bruce feels like the city itself is against him, and in turn, against the forces of good. Within the animated series, also, we can see that Bruce Wayne holds a lot of regret over the death of his parents and blames himself. By protecting him, they have sacrificed their lives. He becomes the Dark Knight so that the city can no longer take away any more from anyone. With the bat symbol in the clouds, he sends a warning to the darkest part of the city, and those parts are at its foundation. Even though Batman tries to save Gotham, Gotham itself shaped Batman as a person. Such an effect can be seen on the rest of the cast as well. The movie makes it very obvious by having one of the Riddler's men claiming that he is vengeance. They were supposed to be the resistance, but turned out to strengthen the evil within Gotham. The men within this group, wearing similar masks and outfit, losing both identity and their humanity, is the end product of a system that is rotten from the inside. Even Batman, who was meant to do good, instigated violence and inspired fear. This is why he realizes that Gotham needs to change from within, and it cannot happen through inspiring fear alone. Finally, I believe that Gotham can be seen as a representation of Batman's mind. When we look at Christopher Nolan's movies as well, we can see that Batman's story as a whole has been about fighting against the traumas in his life. These traumas take on the shape of the villains that he has to fight. Even here, we can see that the antagonist of Batman challenges him psychologically. They don't always have the strength or the influence to lay damage to his body, but they are always able to challenge his beliefs and values. Especially in this movie, we can see that the Riddler questions Batman's methods. Just how effective and sustainable is it to beat down criminals in alleys and trains? Does that usually reduce crime, or does it empower those who would have otherwise stayed meek to pick up arms? These questions are often tormenting Batman, and that is the beauty of his story. The struggle to understand himself and navigate the ethical questions brought towards him is perfectly parallel with Batman's desire to understand and fix the city of Gotham. When Batman is met with some evil in Gotham, it often leads to him finding more about the city and himself. For example, his beliefs about his father are challenged when the Riddler shows up. This leads to him finding out about the nature of Gotham's business and economic world. In a way, by clearing the city of Gotham, he is actually relieving himself and fixing what was broken a long time ago. Here we can see that the visuals of the city give a look into his feelings as well, adding to the previously mentioned elements. The one thing to note is that even a church in Gotham seems dull and hopeless. This could be the writers pointing to the fact that Batman himself is not a hopeful person, and the city's tone matches that. In a city that is constantly trying to devour itself, Batman has to find a way through. In a city where churches bring no comfort and heroes are nowhere to be found, Batman has to find a way to bring hope. Gotham is a seat for all the moral and ethical battles he fights, and by fixing it, he can find comfort within himself. And for these reasons, I believe that the Batman could possibly be the best version of the character we have seen. Here, Matt Reeves brings such style and character to the world that it is hard to get the same anywhere else. I cannot wait to watch the Batman Part 2, but Matt Reeves really is taking his time. Given the quality of the first movie, it would be worth the wait. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.